you fucking goddamn fucking piece of shit. Come on, you fucking twist this with the goddamn shit. Go on, twist that one over there, and then you just. Oh crap. Hi there, all my fellow sadomasochists. Today we are talking about Hellraiser, the Scarlet Box. This finally arrived today. I was hoping this might arrive around Halloween time because they shipped this out around October 26th. But this was delayed, so I just got this in the mail today. But the kind folks over at Arrow Video included this. A little pinhead pin. Get it? And this little apology note, which I thought was very cool. Sorry I'm late, traffic has been hell. That's just awesome. They still have a loyal fan here, and I'm so happy that this box finally arrived. So, today we are talking all things Hellraiser. We're gonna have a look inside this box set here, and I'm gonna talk about my love for all things Hellraiser, and I'm gonna give you my opinion on all the movies. Well, except for one, which we don't talk about that one. We don't say its name out loud. But we're gonna talk about the first 8 movies. And if you're unfamiliar with the Hellraiser movies, the movie Hellraiser is based on a book called The Hellbound Heart from an author called Clive Barker. If you haven't read this book yet, do yourself a favor and read this book. It's really brief, so it's not like 1,000 pages, but the language is just fantastic. He really commands language in this book, and it's a delightful horror story that I think a lot of people will really truly enjoy. But if you've seen Hellraiser, chances are you're already familiar with Clive Barker. He also directed the first movie based on his own novel. So if you haven't read this, check it out because it's just fantastic. Alright, so this is the box. The box. Came with this little information sheet here. There's the bottom. And here's the back. We have such sights to show you. 4-disc limited edition. Look at all the contents in there. Disc 1, Hellraiser. Disc 2, Hellbound Hellraiser 2. Disc 3, Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. Disc 4, the Clive Barker Legacy limited edition exclusive. 200-page book, Damnation Games, limited edition exclusive. And that's not all. We're going to dig into this box set here. I'm not going to read everything that's on the back here because look at all this stuff. It's amazing. It's too much to even mention, but pretty fantastic, stellar box set. I'm so happy I picked this up. Originally, I wasn't going to buy this, but then I saw it was only 50 bucks. 50 bucks for all of this stuff. To paraphrase Hellbound, Hellraiser 2, and to think I hesitated. Alright, let's look at the box itself, because this is gorgeous. This is one of those really beautiful, sturdy cardboard boxes. It's really sturdy and smooth, and it's really just elegant. You'll see what I mean when I say elegant, but there's really no other word to describe this box. It's really a labor of love. Here's the back for you fine folks. Now, it only contains the first 3 Hellraiser movies, but they've all been remastered in 2K transfers, I believe. And you have a whole slew of extras, plus there are a lot of beautiful physical bonuses inside this box that we're going to dig into in just a second. Look at the way they've actually constructed this. It's really special. Like, you can tell this is something unique. This is like they really spent some time developing and conceiving the look of this box set. They didn't just throw it in a plastic case and say that was that. So let's open this up. So the top of the box lifts off completely like this. And the first thing you see is the back of Hellraiser 1. So that's the very first thing in the entire set. And it looks a little something like this. And this is the front of Hellraiser 1, the original movie. Hellraiser 1 came out in 1987, which is the year I was born. Coincidence? I think not. So, Hellraiser 1, the classic, is a fantastic movie. It's a legendary horror film. It's one of those films that's both elegant and sadistic at the same time. It manages to be visually compelling, the characters are wonderful, but it's also dark and grim and really poetic and romantic. You know, it kind of reminds me of the days of Edgar Allan Poe or someone like, it's almost got that Lovecraftian sort of Edgar Allan Poe-ish kind of vibe, sort of a return to that sort of gothic Victorian. But at the same time, it's got this sadomasochistic angle and these wonderful, delightful gore scenes that are just vicious and brutal as all hell. So, just a fantastic movie, Hellraiser. Then you have Hellraiser 2, packaged similarly. There's the Shatterer on the front of the Hellraiser 2 digipack. And there's the disc. So you can see these are unfortunately Region B locked. If you have a Region Free Blu-ray player, you can play them. But if you're from America, I'm sorry, you won't be able to play these in your regular Blu-ray player. You need a Region Free one. Hellraiser 2, or Hellbound Hellraiser 2, I should say, is a very, very good sequel, in my opinion. It picks up just where the first movie left off, and you really get the feeling that you're watching a straight continuation of the same story. I love when sequels do that, when they sort of pick up right where the original movie left off. So they make for a great double feature. It's just as vicious, has a lot of delightfully horrific scenes, this movie. There's one where Dr. Chenard gives a mental patient a scalpel. He gives a mental patient a scalpel. That's all I'm going to say. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Delightful. Alright, Hellraiser 3 is next. Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. This is what that movie looks like in the set. And there's your disc. The artwork on the inside is not very creative, but I think all the other stuff on the outside more than makes up for it. I mean, look at this stuff. Look at it. It's something else, you know? Like I said, a true labor of love. I can't tell you what it means to me when a studio goes above and beyond. And I think Arrow Video are probably like the masters of going above and beyond. They always, always, always make these jaw-dropping special editions of horror movies, and you can tell they really care about putting them out there for a quick buck, but they really spend time and, you know, really make an effort for the fans, and I love that. Next up, you have the Clive Barker Legacy. This is a bonus Blu-ray disc. And on the cover of this disc, you have the pillar from Hellraiser 3, I believe. Look at that artwork. It's just fantastic. I'm in awe of these. They really spent some time on this. And there's the disc, the Clive Barker Legacy. Should be very interesting to see what's on there. You have another bonus here. This is Documents of Blood. This is very interesting. This is a little physical bonus case. You've got some chains with flesh hanging off of them. So this contains, on the one hand, some art cards. There's the art card for the original Hellraiser. That's what the back looks like on all of these. Hellbound Hellraiser 2. Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. They have announced that there will be a separate Blu-ray trilogy of these movies, just the trilogy, and those Blu-ray cases will use this particular artwork. There we go. Is that Frank? I believe that's Frank. Might be Julia, but I believe that's Frank. There's the Butterball, the Fatso Cenobite. And you also have this little booklet here, which is very interesting. Hellraiser concept art. Look at that. Lovely. Let me just and storyboards. Alright, there we go. There's a description. Clive's concept artwork to accompany original pitch document for Hellraiser. Cenobite designs by Clive for pitch document. Designs for Frank by Clive. Trapped in the wall, partially resurrected. And storyboard art for Hellraiser by Floyd Hughes. Very, very nice. That's a fun little bonus there. Here's the typical bonus card that you get with Arrow video releases. And this is nice. This is a full-sized poster with the artwork that's on the front. So you got this design on one side with Pinhead, and on the other side you've got this red design. Very, very nice. All right, but we're not even finished. That's not all. There's also, let's see if I can dig this up. This lovely book is also included in the set. Look at that. Pieces of Frank's face. Look at that artwork. That's just amazing. I'd hang that up on my wall. And in the back of the box set it says, "I am in hell, help me." That's from Hellbound Hellraiser 2, if you're familiar with that movie. This is amazing. This is a 200-page book called Damnation Games. That's 200 pages. Normally you'll be lucky to get, I don't know, 30 pages in a booklet or something like that. Damnation Games, Hellraiser, Hellbound, and Hell on Earth by Phil and Sarah Stokes. Look at that. It's going to be very interesting to read this. It's actually a fully fleshed out book about the making of these movies. Just fantastic. I mean, look at this. I could probably go through this book for hours on end, but just a lovely edition. What a fantastic box set this is. I am thrilled with this set, and I haven't even popped in the discs yet. I haven't even seen the transfers or the extras or anything like that. So for 50 bucks, all of this stuff, it's what I would call a treasure chest. It's unbelievable. So I am going to carefully pack this back up into the box set, and while I do, I'm going to talk about the other Hellraiser movies. So far there have been 9 Hellraiser movies, but I'm going to talk about the first 8 ones. I've talked about the first 3 briefly. I haven't talked too much about the third one. Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, is a pretty decent movie. It has some fun with its characters. It has some fun with the Cenobites. It takes place in an urban setting, and has some new fun style of Cenobites. Hellraiser 4 is not very good, in my opinion. That's the one where Pinhead goes to space, just like Jason did, just like the Leprechaun did. There's always a space movie. They have to go to outer space for some stupid reason, and I just don't understand it. But again, it has some fun Cenobites. It has some scenes that are decent, but I think the movie is pretty weak overall. However, Hellraiser 5, Inferno, I've always enjoyed that movie. I like it. I think it's underrated, actually. Hellraiser Inferno is really good. It's a really stylish return to form. It's very psychological. And it's got some great Pinhead scenes in it. Great practical effects as well. Check out 5 if you can. Hellraiser Inferno. That's a really decent movie. After that you had Hellraiser Hellseeker, the 6th one. That one was interesting too. I think that's one of the better sequels as well, because Kirsty, the main character from the first movie, is back. And her husband, she goes missing, and her husband has to go looking for her. And he gets pulled into the dark world of the Cenobites. I thought that was really good. I enjoy that a lot. So I'm going to say Hellraiser 1, 2, 5, and 6 are my personal favorites. After that you had Hellraiser 7, called Deader. It was okay. It's not awful by any means, but I also think it's pretty weak. It's not one of those great, memorable movies. It's about a woman who travels to Bucharest to find this strange cult of people called debtors who are, I believe they're committing suicide or something like that. Something very strange is going on there. Then you had Hellraiser 8, and it's about a group of teens who are invited to a mansion to partake in a new sort of virtual reality video game, I think. It's been a while since I've seen that one, and it's really weak. It's pretty damn bad. There's a scene where Pinhead is waving around an axe or a hatchet in that movie, which is just says a lot about that movie. But I think Hellraiser Hellworld had an early role for Henry Cavill, who plays Superman these days. So that's a fun little bonus fact for you. The ninth one was called Hellraiser Revelations, and it was just awful. Just flat out awful movie. Doug Bradley does not play Pinhead in that movie, and it's terrible. They basically go to Mexico looking for hookers, and they end up finding Pinhead, and don't watch it, please don't. Just don't. So, in summary, Hellraiser 1 and 2 are really the best of the bunch. Those are the ones I would recommend to anyone and everyone who enjoys horror. Watch Hellraiser and Hellbound Hellraiser 2. If you're feeling brave, you can give 5 and 6 Inferno and Hellseeker a watch too. But the first two are the very best in my humble opinion, and you can also watch the third one without cringing. It's got some fun stuff going on in it as well. Alright, hope you've enjoyed this very delayed look at the Hellraiser Scarlet Box Blu-ray box set from Arrow Video. It's finally here, and I can't wait to enjoy this thoroughly, read the book, explore all the extras, and watch all the movies with their new transfers as well. Alright, you guys, hope you've liked this one. I hope you have a lovely weekend, and I hope you've had a very happy Halloween. Take care. Bye. Disc 1, Hellraiser. Disc 2, Hellbound Hellraiser 3. Blue. And it looks a little something like this. Whoops. Inferno and Hellseeker watch too. But